my dazzling, dashing, distinguished Toastmaster and keynote speaker, Sir Mathew Verghese, my incredible Toastmaster Joseph Benedict, my fabulous Toastmaster and Zoom Master, Toastmaster Adarsh, my electrifying table topic master, Deepa Sajjanal, my enigmatic timer, Toastmaster Vinu, my splendid guest, Jay, my fantastic guest, Priya, my fascinating guest, Sai Sri, and my fantastic and enigmatic Toastmaster, Suresh Balu. And all my superb fellow Toastmasters, sisters, brothers, and my incredible guest. It fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to your alacrity in joining the enchanting, enthralling, engrossing meeting number 737 of my club number 1254322. The Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club, Bangalore, Bharat, that is India. I, Milind Kulapkar, the Sergeant of Arms, cordially welcome each one of you. Our club mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Toastmasters have helped individuals from diverse backgrounds to become more confident communicators and leaders. I request you all to uphold the cardinal principle of every Toastmasters meeting. Keep your audio microphone muted at all times, except when you are invited to speak. And I give you 5 seconds for that. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep your video on at all times unless you are moving in and out of the room. As an encouragement to every role takers and speakers, make sure to applaud them virtually. Role takers and speakers will consciously use their utmost discretion while expressing their views on sex, politics, and religion to ensure the sentiments of audience are not hurt. And I urge all the role takers to rename their names along with their roles. And for other my fellow Toastmasters, please put the club from where you are joining and the country from where you are joining. And for the guest, mention from where you are joining, maybe the country or the city. And for today's special meeting, I urge each one of you from the audience to put your questions in the chat window for our champion keynote speakers. Champion keynote speaker. It's time to welcome the presiding officer of our meeting, who is an active consulting engineer for civil and electromechanical plants and masters in specialized design of civil structure. Served 2 nations in his 42 years of service. 11 years as design engineer for irrigation project in Andhra Pradesh, the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, and 30 years as consulting engineer for electromechanical projects in Saudi Arabia, for government projects costing over billions of dollars for the entire period of 30 years over there. He has handled various power generation plants and during as well as civil plants. During the grand inaugural ceremony at the first desalination plant under his supervision way back in 1990s at Al Kubar, Saudi Arabia. While the event was telecast, our president shook hands with His Holy Highness, His Royal Highness Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz Al Sadr of Saudi Arabia and His Royal Highness the King of Bahrain Ahmad bin Salman. He's a past area director for Eastern North Carolina, USA. He's also a Toastmaster in Malaysia in the Passion Advanced ESG Toastmasters Club, Kuala Lumpur. Moreover, he's also a member of a campus Toastmaster Club of East and North Carolina. And he is also the Smedley Chapter 1 Toastmasters Club of Santa Ana, California, the first Toastmaster club in the world. So please join me with a round of applause, the one and only, the presiding officer of the day, Toastmaster Joseph Fleck Benedict.
Thank you, DTM Millerji, for the wonderful introduction. And I declare the meeting 737 to order. My beloved Toastmasters and all the distinguished guests, I'm not able to name many because of the screen problem that I have I'm not able to get the names actually, and I will meet you at the end of the session. So we are going to have a very good educational session by our expert speaker, and is a prominent person. I will introduce you after my small speech for you. Today, our challenges in life is many things. And one such thing is mental health problem. When I have gone through the Times of India, I found that there are some people who are suffering mostly on this particular problem. This is because of frequent consumption of ultra-processed food may be strongly linked to sharp decreases in mental well-being across gender and age groups. A mega study also included globally 30,000 Indians who are also found involved in this particular mental problems. Those who consumed several times a day ultra-processed food were nearly 3 times more likely to be distressed or struggling with their mental health as compared to those who are rarely consuming and who doesn't consume at all. Nearly 3 lakh people worldwide gathered and analyzed by US-based Sapien Laboratory revealed the study of ultra-processed food consumption and mental well-being outcome was released very recently. The ultra-processed foods are loosely defined as food produced on industrial scale, generally included aerated drinks, packaged chips, snacks, many confectionaries, items, pre-packaged heat meals. All these are a growing concern. India is going one of the fastest growing market for ultra food process. WHO finding that the sector grew at a compound annual growth rate of 13.37% retail value between 2011 and 2022. Over the next decade, UPFs are projected to grow faster than GDP growth and rise in consumption of essential food items. As you know, in the past, we have studied that these foods are bringing what is known as obesity, diabetes, heart ailments, and some recently we found out the correlation with the depression. The current study spread across 26 countries goes by a step further by linking foods with a range of mental health parameters. The study looked at the complete profile of symptoms on a continuum, while it also indicates the depression symptoms get worse with higher frequency of UPF consumption. What we also show is there is a continuum of degradation, all domains of mental function, even beyond depression, and in particular with the ability to control with your thoughts and emotions. It was said by one of the researchers by name Thiagarajan. Among 24 mental function parameters impacted by UPF consumption, the study found that the symptoms of such feeling of sadness, distress, hopelessness, as well as appetite regulation are more strongly impacted with males and females. Significantly, the study found the trend of decline in mental well-being with increased frequency of UPF intake held across the groups, genders, and nationalities, and was independent of the exercise of the respondents. The breadth and nature of symptoms such that UPF may mediate a widespread psychological dysregulation of mental processes. It's a substantial driver of the mental health burden, particularly in young adults of 18 to 24, are likely to consume such food daily when compared to the adults of 45 years old. The study concludes that if societal move towards less ultra-processed diet can play a substantial role in mitigating the mental health burden at the city. Now it is time to speak about our Toastmasters. We are now almost 99 years. We are completing, and from this October starts the 100th year of the establishment of Toastmasters International at Santa Ana, California by Dr. S. Medley. The celebrations is already started in some part of the Western world. We have 140,000 members, 146 countries, and 1,500,000 clubs all over the world. Now, coming to today's session, we first will have a keynote speaker. And this keynote speaker is so famous in District 92, particularly. Last time he has won ISC competition evaluation, and so many accolades are given to him, and he has become one of the famous champions in District 92. DTM Matthews is a chartered accountant and training after his 25 years of corporate stint. He switched to academics. Presently, he is learning partner of Christ University. He has been a Toastmaster for 12 years. Now, let us give a great applause and welcome DTM Matthews. Over to you. Take away, DTM Matthews.
Now that all of you know what the setbacks or the disadvantages of ultra processed food are, let me introduce you to something that's really good for your mental faculties. Joseph Sir did talk about the 24 mental parameters that may be not performing at its very best when it comes to consumption of ultra processed food. But I want to give you a different take on that. Do you know something that invigorates your mental faculties? Anyone? I can give you a hint if you wish to. It's something that we offer at our Toastmasters meeting week after week. No
Thought
guesses?
process.
Thought process, yes. And how do you build on that thought process, which is that one segment which forces you to think more than the others?
Evaluation.
Oh, evaluation. Okay, I thought it was table topics. Well, maybe evaluation as well, because evaluation, you at least get a couple of minutes to write down your points. But when it comes to table topics, it's stand there, shoot, take the bullet, and then deliver. So yes, evaluation for some it's table topics. So table topics is what I'm going to talk to you today. And when it comes to table topic, my opinion of table topics, or short succinct speeches that I would like to call them, short succinct speeches are stupendous. Now let me give you an example of why I say so. Let's go back in time, 1863, American Civil War. And there was a meeting for dedicating the Gettysburg Cemetery. One of the greatest orators of the day, one Mr. Everett, Edward Everett, he was called to give the keynote speech. His speech lasted 2 hours, 13,607 words, it said. And after he spoke, Abraham Lincoln was given just enough time to just make the concluding remarks. Abraham Lincoln spoke for 2 minutes, 272 words to be precise. So you can compare and contrast 2 hours versus 2 minutes, 13,607 words versus 272 words. But today, if you ask a student of public speaking, the one reference speech everybody goes to, and I would recommend it for the listeners here, that reference speech that public speaker could relish on is the Gettysburg Address by Abraham Lincoln. It ticks all the boxes. That 1 2-minute speech is a treat for all those who love and study public speaking. So that's the reason, Toastmasters, I believe short, succinct speeches are stupendous. Now, while we say that, how do you and I make such speeches, and what are the benefits? Isn't it better for us to go and pour our hearts out and speak our mind out and give those long, lengthy lectures with all the analogies and facts? Or is it better for us to just condense it? I'll give you a few examples of the benefits that you and I can enjoy as a result of these short, succinct speeches. Number one, it's imagined reality. A friend of mine and I were sitting at our Toastmasters meeting when he was called upon, and the topic that was given to him was exotic holiday, your most exotic holiday. My friend went up. He started speaking. He said, my most exotic holiday is not very long ago. It happened last May. There were trees of green, red roses too, clouds of white, skies of blue, beautiful backdrop, the mountainous landscape. We were one with nature, and the place was Belgium. After he said that, it was as if he sold Belgium to us. He came and sat next to me after giving his speech. I said, dude, I never knew you went to Belgium last May. He said, I didn't go to Belgium. In fact, I went to Belgaum, a remote village in Belgaum. And I said, that being one with nature, he said, we had dysfunctional toilets and we were one with nature. You see, one of the benefits of giving these short, succinct speeches is you can let your imaginations run wild. So I call that imagined reality. If you want to experience imagined reality, then table topics or short speeches is the way to go. The second one, for all those married people in the room, I need not underline and highlight the importance of being able to think on your feet and give those short, succinct speeches. It could either turn out to be stupendous, or it could go out to the other extreme. And for the not married people, or for the bachelors and spinsters here, I will not tell you what the benefits are. That's a suspense that you can discover by yourself. And one more benefit of being able to think on your feet and give those speeches is just the fact that when you get the right words at the right moment, on the right occasions, something happens, something wonderful happens. Imagine you're in a group with your colleagues, you are at a party, you are at a conference, and you get those words that you would like to get. And therefore it adds you, it helps you in a way that you have an advantage when you are able to express your views and articulate your thoughts in the right ways. So these are a few benefits that you and I can get from giving those short, succinct speeches. But what is it that you and I need to have? What are the prerequisites, if at all there are some prerequisites? Well, one of the prerequisites that often we tend to ask ourselves is this mindset or a skill set? The ability to be able to get the right words at the right time, is it a mindset or is it a skill set? I would say it's a mix of both, but if you were to prod a little further, I would say it's mindset more than anything else. It was James Allen who once said, "Man is mind, and evermore he takes the secret tools of thought, shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass, because environment is but a looking glass." If you have to condense that, all he's trying to say is, if you're able to think of yourself as being good at coming up with short, succinct speeches, then you are one. It's all about how you think, how you feel about your ability to be able to speak. I'm not saying if you just start to think of being a good speaker, then you're going to be a good speaker, but that's the starting point. And it's one thing to wish to be a good speaker, and it's another thing to be ready to be a good speaker. Everyone who joins a communication club has the wish to be a good speaker. It's a wishful thinking, but it's another thing to be ready to be a good speaker. And when you say, what's the difference? Napoleon Hill says it in one word. He said it's one thing to be willing or wishing to be something, and it's another thing to be ready to be that. And that difference is belief. He says nobody is ready for a thing unless he or she believes that they can get there. The state of mind should be one of belief. So while you practice and while you build your repository of your speeches, what's the base or what's the foundation is belief. And the second thing, while we are on the topic of mindset, is self-confidence. Everyone who wants to achieve something needs some extent of self-confidence. And I remember someone having said, if you have too much confidence, you will think that you don't need to learn. And if you have too little confidence, then you will think you cannot learn. So too much confidence and too little confidence are both not the remedy here. You need to have enough confidence that tells you, I need to learn and I can learn. So that's the first point about belief, self-confidence. The second point is, let not your past dictate your future. Many years ago, many moons ago, I should say, when I was 14, I first stepped on stage. I had a good experience the first time around. In fact, I won that elocution competition, as a result of which my father pushed me to the second one. And in my second one, I faltered. I danced more, I spoke less. You see, nervousness got the better of me. In my third one, I forgot halfway through. But still, I got pushed for my fourth one and I blanked out. I gathered all the courage that I could muster and I told my dad, I'm never ever going to speak. And I didn't. For the next 25 years, I never stepped on stage because every time that very thought of stepping on stage let some hell loose in my head. I was I cannot explain what I went through, but it was a horrifying feeling of just even opening your mouth. in front of an audience. So I started Toastmasters way late, and my only purpose was to be able to speak in front of an audience, because I came from a space that didn't encourage me to speak after these obstacles that I faced. So let not your past determine your future. So in order to be able to make those succinct speeches, you need to have some level of courage. And not the courage that goes out and makes all that noise. It was Mary Ann Radmacher who said, courage is that little voice in your head that tells you, I'll try again tomorrow. Courage need not necessarily be that loud voice that roars, but sometimes it may be just that little voice in your head that says, I'll try again tomorrow, no matter if I fail. So while we are on this topic of prerequisites, we talked about mindset. We did talk about past not dictating our future. The next one is be willing to fail. There's never going to be a right speech. I think it was Dale Carnegie who said there's always going to be three kinds of speeches: the one you thought you would give, the one you practiced, and the one you ended up giving. So it's okay to fail. There's no harm in trying. That's more important than anything else. And this point that I'm going to make next, one of the prerequisites is fill the cup. I'm not going to talk about food because I know ultra processed food is not good. So let's not talk about the plate. Let's talk about the cup here. Now, when you talk about cup, imagine you're standing in your organization. You're photocopying a few papers. Now, excuse me if you're environmental friendly, just excuse me for that one bit where you're just taking one photocopy. You have a coffee on your, you have a cup of coffee in one hand and you're rushing to your table when another colleague of yours hits you in the sense, bumps against you. And the cup in your hand spills the coffee that was in it. Now, why do you think the coffee got spilled? Anyone? I'm a teacher by profession, so I have this habit of asking some questions. So please excuse me. But why do you think coffee spilled?
Because of the force.
Because I was doing
Gravitation.
Gravitation, force. Okay, we have a lot of scientists and people inclined to science, but my answer is quite simple. Multitasking. Okay. Okay. Fine. This coffee spilled. Okay, all answers are correct. You will get a 5 out of 5 for that. But I have a different answer. The coffee spilled because the cup was full of coffee. Had it been tea, tea would have spilled. Had it been orange juice, you would have spilled orange juice. So the very simple fact is that coffee spilled because the cup was full of coffee. Now, when it comes to short, succinct speeches, table topics, you can only spill what is inside of you. So the only advice, if you have nothing to take from this session, but just this one word, I would say it is this: fill your cup. Because when you fill your cup with your stories, with your experiences, with your beliefs, with your philosophies, with what you've seen happening around you, that's your cup. And when you get that topic, when life throws at you a table topic, what you can bring out is only what is within you. So filling the cup, I think, is by far one of the most important prerequisites in order for you and me to be able to give a good, short, succinct speech. And the last one of the prerequisites is to remember that you are never, ever wrong. I was at one of the clubs when one of the topic given to a person was kissing theory goodbye. The topic was repeated, kissing theory goodbye. Now, you and I know how important it is in our current world to get rid of theory and be more practical. But our friend went there and he asked, can I have the topic again? He was a newbie in Toastmasters and they told him, kissing theory goodbye. He kind of latched on to one particular word. In fact, the first word. And he said, in India, we kiss a lot. The grandparents kiss their grandchildren, the grandchildren kiss each other, and when you become... So he went on and he latched on his entire speech on that first word. And he came back. And I was thinking to myself, what he actually did was, he did justice to the topic because he literally kissed the word theory goodbye and only talked of the first word. So you can never ever be wrong when it comes to short, succinct speeches. Now, we've talked about the benefits, we've talked about the prerequisites. Now, let's talk a little about what is it that happens when you and I are on stage. Let's imagine this is a contest setup, or it's your club setup wherein you are called to give a speech, a table topics, a short, succinct speech. Now, how do you go about it? The first thing is you've got to be present in the moment. And how do you do that? Well, you've got to find a way of how you think you would be able to do that. That differs from person to person. For some, it could just be taking a deep breath and feeling so good at the opportunity to be able to speak that you forget about what the outcome could be. For some, it could be repeating some lines, like imagine you are asked to repeat a line. Sheila needs, Sheena leads. I'll repeat that. Sheila needs and Sheena leads. It's like a tongue twister. If you keep on saying that, what's going to happen? Obviously, you're going to be so fixated on trying to say the right thing that you're going to forget everything else. I'm not telling you to try it, but that is the way you are in the moment, just in life. Or it could be 5 fuzzy French frogs frolic through the fields in France. Imagine having to say that time and time again. Well, you have nothing else to think about. You'll keep on talking about the 5 fuzzy French frogs frolic through the fields in France. And when you keep on saying that, you would forget that you are in a Toastmasters meeting. So you are in the moment. Find your own way, devise your own way to be in the moment, because I think that's the key of acing a table topic. Now, whether you ace it or not is a different story, but that's one of the prerequisites, I think, to be in the moment when you speak, because that gives you a little more clarity of thought. But when you have 100 things running through your mind, oh, is it going to be this topic or is it going to be that topic? And sometimes you may be caught off guard because you're more worried about what you will speak for a particular topic that comes. But if it's like a clean slate, there are chances that you may be able to crack it a little better. Well, I'm talking from my experience. So I try to be in the moment, taking some deep breaths and just trying to tell myself, man, this is a good opportunity. Another opportunity to fail or another opportunity to rock. Either ways, you're the winner. The second thing is suspend disbelief. And this links to one of the points I made earlier about mindset. Suspend disbelief. Many a times we are so tentative. If you talk in cricketing terms, we don't want to go onto the front foot. We would like to play on the back foot. Sometimes we just want to defend. It was Richard Bach who once said, when you reach the edge of all the life you have and step into the darkness of the unknown, you must believe that one of the 2 things will happen. Either you will find something solid to step on, or you will be taught to fly. So you don't have to be worried about what's going to happen. Either you will find something to step on, some word, some quote, some story, or you will learn something out of that experience. So suspend disbelief. There was a time when I used to be abroad, and I was a Toastmaster abroad as well. And one time we went for bungee jumping because they laid down a platform, and my friend and I went to do this bungee jumping. They tied our legs with a rope and they asked us to jump at the count of 1. So he started 4, 3, 2, 1. And I was about to do that, but I just couldn't get myself to do it. And he would count again, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I just couldn't get myself to do it. And the next thing I know was he said 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I was out. In fact, I think he pushed me or kicked me or whatever, but I felt I was suspended in the air. And that feeling, I can't explain that to you. It was so wonderful. Now, I'm not trying to say here that table topics is going to make you feel suspended, legs up, but it's a wonderful feeling. So you've got to suspend disbelief and just take it as it comes, because either you will be taught to fly or you will find something solid to step on. Now, once you have suspended disbelief, so the first point was be in the moment, suspend disbelief, and now you come to the third point. Listen intently. While I was in the Gulf, there was this topic given to one of the people. It was a contest, and this was the topic given. Your opinion, women are better drivers. One of the speakers came and started talking about women from different parts of the world, the American women, the European women, the Asian women. And finally, they said some are independent, some have mental, some have a background, some are more mentally strong, so on and so forth. And finally, she concluded, therefore, I lay down my point, European women are better drivers. Now, for all of us who were listening to that talk, we were wondering, where is she going with the topic? But she misheard the speaker say that. The speaker only said, your opinion, women are better drivers. She took that to mean European women are better drivers. Now, if you've been in the Gulf, like, when Miss Joseph was introduced, he'd been in the Gulf, he'd been in Al-Khobar. So he knows that some of the people, when Milind did talk about Mr. Joseph, about being in Al-Khobar and being greeted by the king, I'm sure Mr. Joseph will vouch for the fact that some of their pronunciations is not as easy to understand. So what the person said, your opinion, was taken to be European. And European women, it gave a completely different meaning to the entire sentence. So you need to be careful about the pauses, sometimes about where they put the comma, and then be able to speak. Now, why go far? I'll tell you what happened to me 2 years ago. It was the district semifinals. And the topic was, deadlines are negative inspiration. And the topic was repeated. And the first thing that came to my mind was, yes, that's a beautiful topic. Deadlines. Dead lions are better than a live dog. While the lion is alive, it's the king of the jungle. But once it's dead, it's dead. I mean, even a live dog is better than a dead lion. But fortunately, I do not know why, but I thought of another thing that came to my mind. I spoke on the topic, deadlines are negative inspiration. And the topic was deadlines. Now imagine if I had taken the take of dead lions vis-a-vis dead lines. So sometimes you need to be a little more careful about what the topic is, because you may be found wanting when it comes to, if you're found wanting when it comes to hearing the topic, then chances are you would be speaking on something else when everyone in the room would be talking of another topic. The next point about addressing table topics is to just get started. When you listen to the topic, you take a second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, or 7 seconds, and then just get started. There's no such thing as a GPS where you're going to have the entire journey planned out. You take one point, and that point builds up into the second point, and the second point builds up into the third point. And sometimes you will find yourself circling around the same point. Sometimes you may go different places, but that doesn't matter. The important point for us to remember is that to get started and see where we go ahead with this topic. And the last thing is accept. Whatever it is, you accept it. Now, many a times you finish the topic, you come back and sit in your seat, and then you realize, man, I should have addressed it this way. Oh, if only I had talked in this particular fashion, this particular angle. Has it happened to you? Happens to me many a times. But it's okay. You've got to accept it. It was Michael Beckwith who once said there's a 3-step process to accepting everything that happens in life. First, it is what it is. Accept it. Either it will control you or you will control it. Second, harvest the good in it. And third, forget the rest. So the table topics is something like that. It is what it is. Accept it. Either it will control you or you will control it. Second, harvest the good. There's always going to be a good out of it. Either you have made a mistake or made a flaw, or you've been excellent. There's a learning in that. And third thing, forget all the rest. You've given yourself a chance to give out a message to the people. There's nothing more that you require. So these are a couple of what do you call those things to be done when you are on stage. Now, the last bit, I'll close my talk with this, is how do we address a table topic? Is there a particular technique? Well, there are many techniques, but more often than not, I find myself forgetting all the techniques when you step on stage. But for the sake of theory, there are some techniques like past, present, future. I mean, if they're going to talk about cryptocurrency, there are ways that you could think about what it was in the past. Barter system, you could then go into saying what it is in the present and what you see envisage going forward, past, present, future. Or if it's a success story, you could use the technique of then, now, and how. Well, there was a time when I was struggling in life. I didn't know what my future was. I was lost, lonely, broken. But here I am today. And what did I do in order to be able to get here? I found somebody who helped me out, who gave me these tips, and this is what I did. Then, now, and how. Or there could be the 5 W's, 1 H. There's something like that, right? Why, what, when, where, which, and how. You could use those probing questions and then attract or attack a topic. Why it happened, what happened, so on and so forth. Or it could be as simple as just make a point, tell a story, make a point, tell a story, make a point. Or it could be the pros and cons. See, there are many ways of doing that. And there's no one particular way because it varies from person to person, from topic to topic. And I can tell you one thing for a fact, that it doesn't matter whether you're giving the same topic at 2 different points in time. You will come up with 2 different table topics. And that's been my experience, because you'll never speak the same way that you thought at that point in time. It's so subjective because it depends on what you hear, your mood, the adrenaline that's rushing if you're in a contest, which will be completely different when you're sitting in a calm environment and you're able to think in a different way. So that's the reason we remember that there's no such thing as a good or a bad table topic. It's just what came to your mind at that point in time, and you said what came into your mind, what you were given, and therefore you enjoy the experience and forget all the rest. So whatever is your technique, I'll leave you with this one little point: fill your cup. If there's something that you can do in order to be a bit better table topic speaker, is to have that story. It is to have that experience. It's to be able to be in the moment and link the topic with what you have and bring it out. So my wish for you at Speech Weavers is that you're able to come out with that topic, with that mindset. You're able to fill your cup and go out and make a difference the next time you take stage and give a table topic speech. Over to you, sir.
Let us clap our hands for the great applause, the wonderful speech of the champion. He scored like a Messi, bat like a Kohli, and punch like Muhammad Ali. All this was compliant. The most important thing is the wishful thinking, becoming a public speaker, and are you ready to speak? So this we have to just think of it. And moreover, fill your coffee cup. 2 points one has to really remember. Now I would like the audience to ask their questions. Before that, I would like to introduce our Q&A moderator, Milind Kulapkar. He's a non-executive resident director on the board of the Indian subsidiaries of MNCs. He's a qualified company secretary, law graduate with over 30 years of corporate experience in listed public sector and private IT companies. He retired in July 2022. He is also a professional speaker of various professional seminars. He has completed 7 full marathons on April 10, 2022. He is also a yoga practitioner. So, Mr. DTM Kulapkar, take it away.
So at least let me fill my mug. Joseph sir, you told about who doesn't know Mr. Matthews in District 92. At the coronation, I was almost sitting in the same row. Every time the contest was coming, contest number 1, table topic, here his name is being called. Evaluation contest, he's again in that top district champion. He's been called. And then ISC. And he also managed to get a hat trick in all those things. So that is something which I felt was awesome. Because I'm also part of other district where I make a point to contest, and quite often the district champion who is there, who was also in our district, we also contest. But he just observed me. He said, I appreciate you. I said, why? He said, you contest in whatever is there. You have this table topic, you do everything, but I don't do that. It's too much. So I have a question to you. He's also a traditional district champion for years together. Even he feels that is too much for doing the same, juggling with 3 contests at the same time, maybe, and that's what exactly happens. And here you are, and you seem to be very relaxed over that. How is that? What is your secret sauce?
Yeah, Toastmaster Milind, thank you for that question. Well, like I said here, when you especially for when you talk about table topics and evaluation, see, it's off the cuff. You can't prepare, and that's my take. So my take is that you don't get ready for a contest, you stay ready. So table topics is something you can't go and you can't prepare for it, and therefore you are always ready. What we are doing right now, you're asking me a question and I'm answering. It's a table topics. I've not come prepared. You did not give me this question in the past. So if you look at it in that way, that you're always ready, table topics is just another being there. Similarly with evaluation, you're going there and you're looking at what the speaker speaks. You have 3 good points, 3 points of recommendations, you sum it up and you give it. And that's it, you're done. You don't have to literally prepare and say. And when you're willing to when you know that there is nothing to lose, everything to gain. See, you're not going there for a trophy, you're not going there. And that's what has been my experience. Having said that, there are years I don't participate also. I mean, there are years when I don't go for it. It all depends at that point in time. If you feel like participating, you participate. But I would say that there is no pressure in participating in an evaluation and a table topics as much as there is for an international speech contest, you need to be a little more prepared.
Thank you. And this is a nice tip for our club members. We have our contest, evaluation, and table topic next week. Make sure each one of you participate and just also join our meeting to enjoy the thing. And I also find one more. I'll just finish a couple of questions and then I'll open it for the audience. Next one, since you were sitting next to me, and so when the district championship was announced and you got it, and they said, now to come to the next level, your videos will be recorded, uploaded, and there'll be some panels who will be picking up 2 people for the region. And I was disappointed when you were not there, because I was so enamored with your personality and the way you gave that dance over there in that ISC. So I was just, you are the champion, I felt, and you should be at least in the next region. So you also must have felt. So how do you overcome? Sometimes it happens. Things are not. So when you feel you're done a fantastic job, and in spite of that, you're neither of these 2 people who were opted. So what is that? How do you take that failure, if I say?
Yeah. Sure. See, I think one of the things that we all need to remember when we enter into a contest, or I'll tell it from my perspective, however, other people may be looking at that, but my perspective is Toastmasters is a journey. It's a means to the end. It's not the end. If there was a Toastmasters annual competition wherein they said that the winner is going to get $100,000, then it's a different story. Of course, there's something to cry about because you're losing out on the $100,000. But here you're just making it to the next level. Now, it's one thing to be a WCPS. You know what a WCPS is?
No.
Anybody knows what WCPS is?
World Champion of Public Speaking.
World Champion in Public Speaking.
It's the World Champion of Public Speaking. I would say don't go for being a World Champion of Public Speaking. Don't chase a WCPS. Chase a WCPS. Now, what do I mean by chase a WCPS? Don't wait to ask for getting a trophy to be declared, for somebody to declare you as a World Champion of Public Speaking. You can be a WCPS, which is a world-class public speaker. And that's what you and I are after, right? We want to be a world-class rather than just having a title to it. So there's nothing to lose. Somebody loses, somebody wins. On their particular day, everybody would be a winner. So when you are on that journey, when you realize that Toastmasters, it's not the end, it's a means to the end. And then you go on with life as it goes on. So you take it in your stride and it's just another day. Next time you may try, you may not try. Again, it depends on what your mood is, what your official commitments are at that point in time. You may decide to try it. So that's the way I look at it. So it doesn't affect me as much. I can tell you that very, very honestly, that it doesn't affect me as much, because I know that every time you participate in a contest, you are winning anyways. That experience that you get in standing in front of an audience, whether it's a club level, area level, division, or a district level, is giving you enough confidence to be a WCPS, which is a world-class public speaker. And that's more important for me than being a world champion of public speaking.
Great. Thank you for that inputs, because that's something important, because sometimes in a contest, obviously, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but how to overcome that, and what is your outlook over there. That's a great thing for every contestant over there. Do not feel, oh, the judge was not of my cup of tea. So he was. Sometimes they say, no, he's a bias. He belongs to some other club. So those things does come into our things. So now, those who want to ask questions, can they raise hands? So one by one, I can just ask them to unmute if I can. Or to start with, someone had already unmuted. So if he has already done it, let him go.
Right now, Mathew, sir. This is Jay.
Okay.
It's a wonderful speech
Okay.
today. Yes, sir. Can I proceed? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Jay.
It's a wonderful speech, sir. And thank you so much for your wonderful sharing those wonderful points with us. I mean, I'm a very immature and I'm scared to even communicate in the public. But anyway, I just wondering, sir, is there anything beyond the points that you have mentioned that drives the Toastmasters to orchestrate that particular speech, the table topic speech that we have to give in a short span of time? Does anything else that we miss out? Because the topic sometimes, from my experience, seems to be a new topic, and I never been to that topic, or even sometimes I don't even understand what the topic is, where to start, where to end. And when the person is in that kind of situation, when he has to start off somewhere, what things really drive from the internal mind, beyond mind, or what are those things that can really orchestrate and come out with a precise speech?
Sure. Yes, Jay, I can answer that. Now, there are times when you may go on stage and you may not understand the topic. Now, you don't have to blame yourself for that. For all you know, the person who was preparing the table topics gave you a very sophisticated topic, which normally you would not get if it is a contest. In a contest, it's going to be quite simple. Now, if the topic is not understandable, or if somebody thinks that the topic is very difficult, it's okay. You can excuse yourself for not being able to attempt. But if you look at it as just being a casual conversation between two people, you and your friend sitting across a coffee table, and you're conversing on a particular topic. Now, you for sure have some points, whether it may be that you understand that or you may not understand that, but you will give your points of view. And if you look at a table topic as just being there to give your opinion, let's say you're sitting in your office setup, and there are three people, your subordinates, asking you a question, whether it's about the Ukraine war or whether it's what's happening to the oil prices. Now, you may not really be aware of what is happening, but you may have some ideas of what could be the potential answers to that question. Depending on what your background is, you're going to speak. Now, the reason I said fill your cup is because when you get a general topic, for example, success, hard work does not result in success. Now, you may agree to that topic or you may not agree to that topic. And that's quite a simplistic topic. And that's the kind of topics we are expected to speak on when we come into a Toastmasters meeting. They won't ask you about high funda topics like the Ukraine war or something of that sort. It's going to be quite basic. So if at all you've got a topic which is a little complicated, then it sometimes depends. You don't have to take it on yourself. Just say, it's okay. Are there any other topics that I would be able to answer? And you can give yourself a few topics while you're sitting here, right? You could say your most exotic holiday, my most embarrassing movement, or let's say traveling in the local trains. How would I want to do that? Or your opinion about what are the three things that's required for me to be more successful? Can I get more out of the day than I put in through the day? Time is money. And you can take up some topics and just try to see how you gather your thoughts. And when you play around with topics, when you could take a quote book, look at it, when you're reading Reader's Digest, you find a quote and you say, what if this was a table topic? How would I have answered that? In that way, you're training your mind to think in a particular fashion. Now, being a teacher, I have to encounter a lot of questions that come out. Now, this, like your question, brilliant question. I'm trying to find an answer while we speak. I don't have an answer, but I'm quite happy that you asked this question. So even though I don't have an answer, I'm trying to find an answer while we speak. And this is kind of a way I'm demonstrating of how you think during a table topic answer. At the end of which, Jay, you may tell me, man, you did not answer my question. but at least I've attempted to try, attempted to answer it. And that's something which is more important. Similarly, when it comes to a table topic, don't worry about not being able to answer spot on. Sometimes you may waver, sometimes you may take a bypass, sometimes you may come back to the topic, or sometimes you may speak something unrelated. Doesn't matter. Congratulate yourself that you have attempted that and start practicing. You said you're a newbie. When you do that time in and time out, day in and day out, week in and week out, trust me, in a couple of months you will realize and you'll have the confidence to be able to speak on any topic that's given to you. I hope I answered, Jay.
Wonderful, sir. I got all the information that is required. So one more delicate thing that which is actually beyond all these things. Is there anything that is deep inside the personality itself that really orchestrates this particular speech, or is it the experience of the person, or is it the knowledge of the person, or it's all together that orchestrates that particular topic?
I would think it's a mix of all. And I would think mindset is something very important. See, many a times we put labels on ourselves and say, I'm introvert. I've never had the confidence to speak. I've never spoken at school. And that's an experience that had held me back for 25 years. After 14, when I had that experience, till 39, I did not speak. And that was because every time I thought of speaking, there was something in my mind which said, man, you have fumbled in the past. You have faltered in the past. Those voices sometimes come and tell you. So you may have all the knowledge, your cup may be full, but if your mindset is that, you're not as good, I don't measure up like Mr. X, like Mr. Y, that will hold you back. So you've got to develop that mindset of belief, self-confidence, and you've got to fill the cup. And when you have these things all put together, when you take that first step, you may fail. But when you come back again and come back again and come back again, after a couple of tries, something happens wherein you still have butterflies, but then the butterflies begin to fly in formation. That's the difference.
Thank you. And I saw our table topic master had raised her hand. So Deepa, over to you. You can unmute yourself and go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Deepa, go ahead.
Mathew, yeah, I just wanted to know, there is a phrase which says, is mental health or the way you think, is your body important? I'm not able to phrase the question. Just give me a second, please.
Sure.
In the meantime, I can ask you. No, I
Sure.
see. No, regarding. Okay, go ahead, Deepa. Yeah, you're ready. Come, fine. Deepa, are you
Is
ready?
it sir, you can go ahead. I'll pick my question next.
Okay, just think of it. Okay. No, regarding this physical fitness or even mental fitness, I see. No, like in your case, I was very thrilled the way you were moving around in the stage and physical fitness that was visible. And there were other contestants and comedy contestants who physically, in fact, they were making jokes on themselves and they were winning brownie points. But what do you think? For a contest or for a public speaker, is a physical fitness as you grow at your age, as you get younger and younger by the day? Is it that important, or that is okay and your mental is okay? So what do you feel like?
No, see, just to tell you, Milind, I think you have overestimated my age. For the records, I'm 27. That's fine. Okay, so I'm physically fit. Yes, I have a 8-pack like Shah Rukh Khan, but I've not got a film role like Jawan yet. But maybe that will happen sometime in the future. But just to answer your question, physical fitness, mental fitness, I think both of them are equally important when it comes to age, whether you are 20 or whether you're 70. I think something that we all need to work on is physical fitness. I don't give as much importance to that. Like I heard your introduction, you do marathons, you do yoga. I do none of that, but I think it's important because when you feel good, it's one thing. When you feel physically and mentally good, it's another thing. You're in a position to do much more than what you would have otherwise done if you were not as physically fit. So I think both are equally important. Like we heard in school, a fit mind, a fit body is the recipe for success. You are at least in a position to take on the world when you have these kinds of fitness Otherwise, you may be found wanting. So I would say I would put a premium on both, equal premium on both mental and physical health.
Yeah, Deepa, over to you.
I wanted to understand, is a healthy mind represent your healthy body, or is it the other way around? Is it your healthy body which makes you a healthy mind?
Well, I think it's either or. Both ways are true. But from where I come, from what I have studied, I'm a financial. I had a background in finance for the longest time. I did a lot of degrees. My chartered accountancy, cost accountancy, CPA, CIA. I can list that close to 10 degrees that I have. And I used to think that one of the most important thing is for me to have all these degrees so that I can really make it big in the corporate world. But there was a time when I felt, you know what, is this what everything is all about? And I was beginning to feel asking myself the question, what is it that I really, really want? And that's when I happened to get an email that said, tell me what you want and I'll help you achieve that. I set out on that journey. That was a mail from Bob Proctor. I became a consultant for Bob Proctor. I studied about the mind. And now I've come to understand that if you understand your mind, that is far more important, because like somebody has said, it's mind over matter. Body is just matter. And if your mind is strong, you can take care of your body. So it's the mind that drives your body. When you talk of mind, if I can go into, I know it's beyond the syllabus, but if you talk of mind, you have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is your thinking mind, what you think. So if I tell you, look, Deepa, let's say, Deepa, you're working in Accenture. Where do you work, Deepa? Are you a student?
Coincidentally, yes, coincidentally, what you mentioned, Accenture, was my stint and my last journey in the career path.
Oh my! I mean,
Fun
I
one.
have never, I've never met Deepa. This is the first time talking. So Accenture is something that just came to my mind. Maybe it's because their office is right in front of my university, and I happen to see that. So let's say you're working in Accenture, and there is an article in the paper which says a lot of companies like Infosys and HP are retrenching people. Now, the first thing that would come to mind is, oh goodness, if 15,000 people are retrenched by Infosys, if TCS is retrenching 20,000 people, what's going to happen to people in Accenture? So you begin to think in a way that, oh my goodness, my job is at stake. Something's going to happen to me. So that's what your conscious mind is thinking. And that is then accepted by your subconscious mind. If your conscious mind allows that thought of fear to get into your subconscious mind then begins to say, something's going to go wrong, something's going to go wrong. And then your body is in a vibration wherein your body begins to act in a different way. Now, when your body acts in a different way, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, and then your results. I'm just trying to get the battery done. Hold on 1 minute. Let me just pin it. I'm just low on battery. Hold on 1 second. So 1 second, yeah, before I just get, maybe it's not plugged in. So when we are talking about, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, the actions is the body part of it. So if you ask me that in one line, if I have to answer, I think thoughts are far more important than your actions, because it's your thoughts that drive your actions, and your actions come from your body. So your mind, thoughts, feelings, actions, and actions gives you results. So mind over matter. Mind matters more than body is what I would take that. I mean, that's why my opinion.
Thank you, Mathew.
Thank you
I
so much
noticed
for letting me know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And one more, I just noticed Suresh Babu was making a lot of notes. So would you like to share what you wanted to ask questions or something, Suresh?
No,
Go ahead.
I don't have any questions. Thank you so much, Mathew. Really insightful, and I'm really making some notes just to form up my understanding. But really insightful. I'm a newbie, but really helping me to take up table topics maybe in future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Suresha. Thank you very much.
So anyone from Milu? She's from HR. Anything? A HR person can ask some questions to a teacher. Nivu, would you like to go? Piyusha, Rajiv, Srinivas, Sonal, Tabas, Sai, anyone? Tasri? Okay, any members over here? Joseph sir, Adarsh. It's a 2020 going on quickly. Umpire will disqualify you otherwise. That Vinu is watching you.
Actually,
Okay.
my
Yeah.
opinion is that people who attempt the table topic always say, thank you very much, thank you for giving me the subject, and wishing also good evening or good morning, whatever the timing is. And then again, wasting the time. Is it a correct way of taking up the table topic?
That's a very good question, Joseph sir. See, you must remember, at best you have 2 minutes to speak, and if you extend that and use your grace period, then at best you can go to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, I have seen either sides of the light. I have spoken even after 2 minutes and 30, and I've been disqualified as well. Now, there are some times when you are so excited and you want to speak that you continue speaking. So, in that time that you have, it's best not to have as many salutations. The way I would address a table topic is not beginning by saying, thank you for giving me this topic. I'm a newbie. I don't want to attempt this. I do not know. This is my first time. It's okay if it's the first time. Take enough time to be able to start and understand the topic. And then what comes to your mind first is something that you could start off with, and then bring in your salutation somewhere in the middle. So, for example, hard work does not necessarily result in success. I mean, just a thought that came to my mind. Maybe I would not start by saying Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters or guests. I would rather start by saying success means different things to different people. What does success mean to you? Well, Earl Nightingale once said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. My dear table topic masters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Now, when you talk of success, there are three things that I would like to bring out in success. And you talk about success is number one, success is number two, success is number three. So it's not necessarily everybody who really works hard that you may deem to be successful. A porter works really hard, but would you call him successful? Or you could use some other examples and say, so hard work need not necessarily result to success, but hard work definitely is only one of the ingredients that you could use in order to be able to take you from where you are to where you want to be. And that could be your definition of success. So it is the way you structure it. And when you do it 3 or 4 times, you know that there is a structure. Now, I don't have a specific structure for different occasions. I may use different structures. There are times when you don't understand the topic, like what Jay said. At that point in time, you're not able to think of something, and then you may start by saying, table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, guests. So you're buying that 1 or 2 seconds, but that is, your salutations. But you can avoid all the other things. I'm so happy to be here. All those things. Similarly, what we do for evaluations, right? We don't have to go and repeat what the speaker said. Rather, have very limited time of 3 minutes where you talk about the topics that you liked, the points that you would like to recommend, and then you conclude. So when it comes to these 2-minute speeches, I think there is no room for us to be able to say that. It's better to put in a practice of trying to tell ourselves, you know what, let me go and attack the topic. Even if I speak for 1 minute, it's fine, because the minimum time is 1 minute. So avoiding all this talk at the beginning is, I think, much, much recommended and necessary, if you ask me, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
There was a question from Rajiv Srinivas. Over to you, Rajiv.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session and this opportunity. The only question I have is, what is your favorite strategy? You mentioned there are a few techniques that can be used, PCR, PPF, so and so. What is your favorite technique that you always make sure you bring it and make yourself as a champion?
Okay, Rajiv, just wanted to know, what is PCR, PPF? I didn't catch that. What was that?
The pros, cons recommendation that I mentioned, and the past, present, future. Yeah, sorry. Sorry for the acronyms.
Okay, thank you. I didn't realize that. Yeah, so there is no specific, like again, Rajiv, I don't go with a specific strategy, because I believe that going prepared for a table topic or going with a specific strategy in mind is more a hindrance than an enabler. For example, if you were to give me a topic now, I do not know what strategy I would use. I would just take my mind where it takes me and answer that question. So I don't have a specific strategy that I would say I will use this strategy. Then what will happen is if I go with that strategy of saying past, present, future, then whatever topic comes to my mind, I'm trying to fix it to past, present, future. And that may not be a relevant topic for the past, present, future. For example, if you say deadlines are negative inspiration, this is a topic that I got when I was in the district semi-finals. Negative, what is that? Deadlines are negative inspiration. Now, I don't know how to link it to a past, present, future. So you just start with deadlines, and then you say, you talk of creativity and say, Pablo Picasso or somebody did not have a particular deadline that he had to follow, like you and I have in our corporates today. And when it comes to deadlines, more often than not, you're not able to think beyond what you would have otherwise thought if you had a little more time. But arguing on the other side, if you are given a lot of time, you may fill in all the time to do the activity. So there are different ways of doing it. Like one of the finals that I was in, the 2021 table topic finals, the topic given to us was, imagine you are in the one of the rooms of COVID. I don't know what room it's called, but it was the firefighting room or the control room of COVID. And how would you, as the CEO of that control room, get people to address this huge calamity that we are facing? Now, I don't think there could be anything or any strategy that we could use in order to attack that topic, because it's so quite wide. And therefore, what comes to your mind is, how would you do that? There, sometimes you may use why, what, where, when, and how. Why did COVID come? What is happening with COVID right now? And how would we be able to use it? You may say, I would build a team, and accordingly, we could have more teamwork, more come up with a plan or something of that sort. So to answer your question, Rajiv, there is no one strategy. There is, you take the topic, run with it, and just see where you are going and where it ends up. And that's the beauty of table topics, because you never ever know what you're going to speak and how you're going to speak. You may surprise yourself, or you may feel that you did yourself a big injustice. Does that make sense, Rajiv?
Yes, thank you so much. I think the main takeaway is practice with different strategies, but go ahead, what comes to your mind.
Exactly. Enjoy the moment. Don't endure the moment. One thing I tell even my students, enjoy the moment. I mean, you may do extremely well, you may not do extremely well, but come out and give yourself a pat on the back, because at the end of the day, you have not lost the $100,000, because they're never ever going to pay you any amount.
Thank you, sir. And I noticed Vinu Karthik, our timer was there. So Vinu, what is your thing? Can we proceed, or it's okay? Now it's time to...
No. Mr. Kulakar,
okay.
Let us have a photograph before we give you a vote of thanks.
Okay. Before we say goodbye, we need to have a photograph. That's good. Okay.
Sure, sounds good.
All the participants in the audience,
Let all of them open their videos.
May I request Niru, if you can, others, and give your brightest smile. Others, are you taking the photograph?
Yes, I'm going to be taking the photo. Just one quick minute.
Let's say 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I request all the others to turn on their videos. If they don't have it on. We'll give you a quick few seconds.
Yeah, open the video.
At the count of 1, we have to jump, like the bungee jumping.
Sure.
What Mr. Mathew
Let's
did.
do it in 3, 2, and 1. It's done.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
So,
our distinguished Toastmaster.
one more photo.
One more photo. Okay, go ahead.
No, so I think that
Open your
photo is
video.
perfect. The photo came out pretty well. I don't think I can replicate that photo. My apologies.
Over.
Oh yeah, okay, even Jayakant is here. All right, sounds good. Just give me one quick minute. I'll just take the photo. Yeah, guys, and
DTM Millard will give you now the vote of thanks to the champion speaker.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster, CA, ICWA, Mr. Matthews, which I did not know. In fact, so we have something common. I'm a company secretary, and I almost came to the finals of ICWA, but last group, I then left it. It was too much for me. The way you, Mr. Mathew, I like the way you entire talk which you gave. It was a very important table topic. Why it's important, especially when the contests are going on, and that is not only important as a contestant or in a contest, but in life. Quite often, we have to act on our feet. And whatever techniques which you kept on telling us, different techniques which we can use by forgetting our past. Our past should not be our future. So that you need to remove, fill up your cup. So which was again a different thing. Normally we had heard about that monk who asked the person to uncup the entire thing, what he was filling up. So here was something different. So maybe that's also a nice topic which we can use it in our table topic contest. So what you had given. So that is also equally important. And of course, you said what can be done, and ultimately you said that you don't go prepared for a table topic. Quite often we do that, like an essay when we go for an essay of a cow, and then something a donkey comes, and then we mix everything with the cow or coconut tree or something of that. So that is a pitfall when we can go prepared. It is meant to an impromptu contest, and not only the contest, life itself is impromptu. So what is your mental setup? Challenges are there during COVID. How some people had a challenge and they succumbed to that challenge. Others overcame and made that and they made bonanza, billions of dollars they made. A lot of businesses crashed, whereas others came up with massive, beautiful businesses. So that is what the mental mindset which you were helping with the time being. So that is something great, and which I feel that this is a life lesson or an education session, not for the next contest next Friday, which we have, but for my life. So kudos to you, and I sincerely appreciate our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Joseph Benedict, to invite him. In fact, Mathew sir is Joseph sir's great. Joseph sir is, of course, we all are fan, but he has a soft corner for you. So for quite some time, he has been telling us, we're calling Mathew, be prepared, be prepared. So he had built up that hype. So that was great. Kudos to you for making sure that became a reality, as well as, of course, Toastmaster, others to ensure this new teams which we have started today. So it was working up and running. We could have had no issues. So that was great. And of course, today, table topic, somehow we could not do. Joseph sir, should we be doing it now? What's your plan?
No time.
Oh, no time. Sorry, Deepa. Good, you are not prepared with the topics which can be used otherwise. So let's give a round of applause. Even you can all unmute yourself, your audio also, to give a thundering round of applause.
Thank you, DTM Milenji. Now we will upload the certificate for our champion speaker. Others, please upload the certificates.
I didn't know that I had overshot time. I didn't see the red card, so maybe I just got carried away. I'm sorry about that, Deepa. I didn't realize that this was happening because.
No, sir. I actually never wanted to have a time because of the importance of the speech. The timing is not very important for me. The speech is important.
Okay. Then I'll just leave you with this comment that after all that we have done, table topic is not very scary. Sometimes it may appear scary, but then as Les Brown says, risk it. Because if you're not willing to risk, you're not going to grow. If you're not going to grow, you're not going to be your best. If you cannot be your best, you're not going to be happy. And if you're not going to be happy, then what else is there? So the next time you come across a table topic, take it by the horns and give it your best shot. Wishing you and everyone at Speech Weavers the very, very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Others, can you upload this certificate?
Yes, Joseph, sir, but I'm having some challenges. DTM Mathew, I'll share the certificate with you. I'll also put it up on our WhatsApp groups. Thank you very much for being there for us today.
Sir, we will send you this by your personal mail. The certificates and everything. Now I have few announcements to make. Next week, we will be having club contest on table topic as well as evaluation. All of you are requested to do the necessary registrations that is required for participating in the table topics and all the evaluation and see that it is well registered and given to the District 92 for the entire session. We will have a small meeting, XCOM meeting before the contest starts. So thank you so much for everyone who have attended this meeting. Now I adjourn the meeting 7:37. Now you may have network.